If you're sat on an idea at 45, 50, 55, and you keep telling yourself, not yet, just be honest. What are you waiting for? Permission? I started Meister at 50 because the opportunity was obvious. Because I didn't want to look back and think, I should have done it. And yes, it's riskier at 50 than 25. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. 25, you can be reckless, calling it learning. And at 50, you've got bills, commitments, and people would quite like to keep eating. So your brain goes, be sensible. Don't embarrass yourself. What if it doesn't work? And then you do what most people do, which is nothing. You call it being responsible, but it's often just fear wearing a suit. If you're sitting there at 45, 50, 55 with an idea, especially a great business idea, and you're waiting until you feel perfectly ready, you're going to be waiting a while. And the world isn't slowing down, so you can gather your confidence, especially not with AI. So, launching a business at 50, an AI business in 2026, am I mad? Possibly, but I did it for a very boring reason. The demand was there, and the market was getting this problem wrong. But it did mean making a proper decision. I had to entrust my existing business to an employee to run it, so I could invest time and money into something new. But given how AI is going, I generally felt I didn't have a choice. Either shift in that direction or slowly watch AI eat my business. So I built Maestro. It helps B2B founders, consultants, professional services partners, salespeople build authority and trust on LinkedIn without the guilt and the guesswork of the generic AI spam. Because what I kept seeing was this: either you had done for you services that weren't using AI for efficiency, so they were too expensive. We had cheap AI tools that produced content that sounded like it was written by a tool. And the workflow was always the same: connect, pitch, stop. Which is a fantastic way to build absolutely no trust with anyone. So here's what I've learned launching at 50, especially in the tech AI space. The first benefit, well, you've seen the film before. When a problem pops up, team, pricing, positioning, customers, cash flow, you don't panic as much because you've seen a version of it in the past. Even if it's AI, business is business, problems are problems, people are people. At 25, every setback feels like a crisis. At 50, it's more like, right, here we go again. I think the second benefit is you've got a network that actually answers. I've got a trusted network of advisors I can call on. People who would test, challenge, introduce, refer. That's not a nice to have, that's a superpower. And the third benefit, I think, is that credibility is real, whether people admit it or not. When you're speaking to prospects, and especially potential investors, experience helps. Sometimes youth is brilliant. It brings energy and speed. But with age comes a certain trust. People assume you're less likely to do something completely ridiculous, which is maybe true. And let me be honest, there's also a couple of negatives. I think, firstly, the initial tech overwhelm. At the start, tech can feel like a lot, but honestly, it's probably simpler now than it was a few years ago. You don't necessarily need an army of coders. You need someone who can communicate clearly. Most of the work is just plugging systems together and building sensible workflows. It's surprisingly understandable to normal humans. And I think the second drawback is that marketing of SaaS business especially moves at a ridiculous pace. This has been a bigger learning curve. SaaS marketing is now reels and hooks and viral posts and TikTok style edits, and everyone shouting at the camera like they've just discovered coffee. I have tried copying some of it. I look ridiculous. Friends tell me I shouldn't read off a teleprompter because they can see the reflection in my glasses, and they are right. But I also refuse to shout, "Oh my God, guys," into my phone like I've been possessed by a motivational speaker. So here's what I've learned. You can hire content creators. Who knew? You don't need to personally master every trend. You just need to be clear on the message and build a team around you. So if you think, you've got an idea and you're thinking, I'm too old, it's too risky, the real risk is regretting it by not doing it. Now, I'm not going to say jack everything in. When you've got a family, a house, a career, there's more to risk than when you're 25. You can build sensibly. You can keep the bills paid and still move. You'll just work twice as hard for a while. And yes, it's annoying, but that's the price. If you're sat on an idea, just remember, the real risk isn't trying and failing. It's doing nothing and thinking about it for the next 5 years. With AI, we're entering a brand new world of work. Let's enjoy it.